There's producers selling $1 leases and there's producers selling $600 leases. What should your prices be? Also, this channel just got monetized, so I plan on using the monetization money from this channel to actually run ads to sell beats online. Then make videos about my ads and show you guys what's working, what I'm doing, give you the whole backside of everything. Maybe I'll even do some giveaways. But seriously, thank you guys for all the support. Let's talk pricing and the huge contradicting issues with pricing and selling beats online. So before anything, just remember this: your beats, your store, your prices, your decision. The focus of this video is just to give you guys some of my recommendations and to just kind of get you thinking a little bit more. Maybe you've been producing for a bit, or maybe you're completely new to selling beats online, so boom, you set up shop. $15 for an MP3 lease, $25 for a wave lease, and $75 for track out. Time goes on and you have yet to make a sale, or you make very few sales. So the first thing you think of is maybe it's my pricing. If I just lowered my beats, would I get more sales? So boom, $1 beats, baby. Every beat on my store is just $1. You get a beat $1, you get a beat $1. Now, if I want to make $1,000, I need to sell 1,000 beats? Do you even get 1,000 plays a week on your store? So when producers don't make sales right away, it's not the pricing that is the issue in most cases. Let's discuss the real issues and why producers jump to these low prices and how you can actually sell beats at the price that you want. So let's say you go the normal producer route of selling beats online, of what I said earlier, like $15 MP3 lease, $25 wave lease, right? You're not charging an arm and a leg for your beat, but they're also not $1. So you start waiting for sales.
2 hours later.
Still waiting.
Approximately 10 hours later.
Until you finally end up with this thought, and even I myself had this thought before, right? Maybe my beats are just too expensive. And it's so funny to have that thought, but most producers just kind of neglect their actual numbers and just think that like, yo, I'm not selling beats because people are selling 100 beats for $17. Nobody's buying $20 leases anymore because you can get 100 beats for $17. But if you're only getting 100 plays a week on a beat store, I don't really think you can say it's the pricing that's the issue and you're struggling to compete with your competition. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't need a whole bunch of plays to make a lot of money on your beat store either. That's just focusing on getting high quality traffic to your beat store, video coming soon. You know, we kind of end up with no sales or whatnot, so we end up jumping ship completely to like, oh, I need to compete, so I make $1 leases or I sell exclusives for $20, which is insane. That's crazy. Producers believe the only way to compete against other producers is to just drop our prices, which is also pretty ironic and contradicting because I sold a $15 MP3 lease in order to, you know, compete with producers who sell $50 MP3 leases. How it is online and how I see it, it feels like there's a baseline to our prices. And then depending on the quality and brand and the value you bring, you can raise your price. Or maybe you just raise your price and it works out. You know, that's a thing too. But if your prices are ridiculously expensive and you're not really offering any more value than the next guy, yeah, that might be a reason why you're getting no sales. Just because other producers can sell $100 leases, there's two things you need to look at. One, are people actually buying them? I can sell a $1,000 lease, but if nobody buys it, I have $0. And if people are actually selling $100 leases, you need to look at, is their quality extremely good? Or do they actually have brand and some value behind their name? Maybe a major placement, maybe a major connection, something like that. You know, going back though, if you're getting 100 plays a week on your beat store with no brand, no name, no placements, you need to be realistic with yourself. Jumping right away to an $100 lease might not be the best option for you. You need to think, you're not getting a lot of plays, you're not getting a lot of website traffic, and when you do get website traffic, it's probably people who've never heard of you before, aka cold traffic, so that's really not helping anything. So Ryan, how do I get more traffic to my beat store then? It sounds like that's the issue. Watch that video later, will you? Probably help you out. It's so funny to me because as you move up like these different levels in producing and selling beats online, you kind of prove to yourself that you can sell at a different price point and you contradict the previous thought. Somebody who's making no sales or very few sales may think, you know, it's because the competition is giving away 100 beats for $17 or free beats. Then I say, hey, you know, I'm actually selling beat leases for $25. You know, people are still buying beat leases, but just not for a lot of money. And then somebody can come along and say, well, no, people are actually buying my beat leases for $100 and I don't have that much to to my name at all. But I don't think it's a smart idea with really nothing behind your name just to go out there and try to sell $100 leases. I think you need to start where most producers usually start from, with like a small range of like $10 to $60, $70 to $100, depending on what rights you're giving them. Your beats, your store, your prices, your decision. The other day, I saw a Reddit post of a producer wondering if it would be possible for him to sell $500 leases. Now, yeah, if you have some clout, if you have something to your name, branding, you're bringing something to the table with some extra value, maybe. You need to remember, we're talking about selling beats online, which is a complete different entity than just selling beats in a studio. An artist can see your price and literally get you replaced in one YouTube search. But here's a great example of somebody who might be able to sell a $500 lease. I don't remember if this was actually true or not, but I think Pyrex Whippa actually tweeted out that he had a BeatStars account. Since making this video, I couldn't find his Twitter. I think he deleted his Twitter, and I don't think the BeatStars account stands anymore. Take a look at Pyrex's major placements. $500 actually might not be enough money to get a beat lease from him because of what he has achieved and the placements he has. But just having some clout to your name and having some branding and bringing some actual value, that's what's gonna get people to actually buy these beat leases for more money. But a small producer like me trying to charge $500 for just leasing rights, not even exclusive rights, I just don't see that happening. Now, yes, as you build up your brand name and quality, you can end up in a spot like DJ Payne, where he sells a $50 MP3 lease. His beats are dope, they're high quality, and he has a brand. At the end of the day, we are simply selling a digital audio file. You need to bring more value to that somehow. Don't worry about other people giving away free beats. Worry about how you can make people give a shit about you. Also, a quick little major gem here for you guys. This is something I just thought of while recording this video. What is a way that you can add value to a beat lease? Well, you can either create or team up with somebody who owns a Spotify playlist in your niche of beats, or an Instagram promoting page in your niche of beats. You can make these pages and build them up yourself, or you could team up with somebody who already has this stuff and pay them a certain amount of money. Say I make drill beats. So what I would do is I would go find somebody who makes a drill Spotify playlist that has a lot of followers. Yo, let's chalk up a deal. Every time I sell this lease, you'll get $25 and they get put onto your playlist. So that way, as a producer, I can market that, be like, yo, if you buy my $100 wave lease, you know, you get the high quality dope file, blah, 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 right? But you also get put onto a playlist that has 10,000 listeners that's all about drill music. That creates an extra incentive and extra value, and I think actually is a really fucking good idea. So how do I price? This is just a personal recommendation. This isn't something you have to stick to at all. This is just kind of like the baseline of where I think everybody starts at, and to gauge, you know, if the leases fly off the shelf at this point, up your price. But if they aren't, focus on getting more traffic and then seeing where it goes. There's no chart here of like, if you've been producing for 1 to 3 years, charge $10 for an MP3 lease, 4 to 5, 25 for an MP3. That doesn't exist. There's no chart that's magically gonna give you numbers. How I got my numbers and how I imagine most other producers got their numbers when they started out was simply just copying the normal of what every other producer was already doing. 10 to 30 bucks for an MP3 lease, about 25 to 50 for a wave lease, and 70 to 100 for a track out lease. But Ryan, I could never sell my masterpieces for such a peasant price. Like I said, if you choose these generic baseline prices of what I'm gonna say, and your leases fly off the shelf, I'm pumped for you, dude. Great. Literally, if your issue is that you're selling beats for too cheap for like a week and you need to up your prices, amazing. Amazing, good stuff for you. Like I said, your beats, your store, your prices, your decision. You can experiment, you can do whatever you want. But I think something to keep in mind here is don't raise your prices because you think it's good. Raise your prices because people are telling you they're good. And no, your two friends saying, yo man, your beats are always so fire, that's not really the data I'd look for. If you're selling $25 wave leases and they're flying off the shelf, that's data that's showing you that people are buying these for $25. Raise it to $30, $35, see what happens. At the end of the day, it's your beats, your store, your decision, your prices. It's just if you sell one lease for $150 and it never actually gets purchased for 8 months, you're gonna get your ass humbled and you might have been wasting time and losing out on some money. But who am I to say? It could be the complete opposite story. You may kill it. There really is no right or wrong way to sell your beats and price your beats. I just think as though there is a baseline, and how you move up from that baseline is by adding extra value to your beats. If you want to, man, go ahead and try to sell a $100 lease. It's just if nobody's buying it, maybe look into, deflating your ego a little bit. Hard to hear, but might be the truth. Or you may prove me wrong and kill it. I'm glad for you. See you guys in the next one.